Hello, Stampers. It's Friday, so it's Friday Fun Day with Becky. I thank you for joining me again for my second episode of my weekly series of fun stamping projects. If you missed last week, I hope you'll go back and check out my video from episode 1, which was a mounted double gatefold. Today, we are going to be doing a bookbinding card with a twist. I'd only seen one of these done, and so I went and set out to find some papers and some products to make this card. So what I'm going to show you today is this bookbinding card. However, the orientation is a little different, and I'll show you some of my old samples. And it will open like so. So again, whenever I do a bookbinding card, I kind of come up with a theme. And this week's theme is I am working with the Peaceful Place designer paper, which unfortunately is on back order, but should be in on Monday. So if you fall in love, which I'm sure you will, you can send me your name and I'll put you on my list. And when it comes in, I'll order it for you. Or you can go to my store at Becky's Stampin' Studio at blogspot.com and order directly from there. And if you do order from there, my October host code is here, and you can put that in with your order. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to start with this gorgeous paper, and let me share that with you. When I first saw this online, it just looked like a lot of neutrals or black and whites, which is okay, but I couldn't envision for Christmas. So then I looked at the colors at the bottom. So let me show you that page. It's actually on page 37, if you have your mini catalog handy. It's down here at the bottom, and always in our catalogs, they have the colors that are in the designer paper. And it's smoky slate, basic gray, black, and silver. That kind of perked me up. So I ordered one pack, fell in love. It went on back order, and I had to wait for it to come in again. So even we have to wait. So here is one piece. This is the piece I'm going to use today for the front. It's designed 12 by 12. You cut it at 6, and you'll see, I'll show you how to trim this down to work for cards. So each side, one side has a pretty silver print. And this actually, I think it's probably snow, I don't know, would actually work, this side would work really well with the stamp I'm using from the Whimsical Trees. There's also, I don't know if there it is, a little bit of the silver. This is snowflakes on gray with a nice gray buffalo check. Again, kind of a snowfall or a wood bark grain. And this actually coordinates with the Peaceful Cabin, which I will be using later on. Cool paper. There is kind of a bark or a wood grain or tree grain in the silver. The back side is a little grove of trees. We have another piece of 12 by 12 that has trees and silver snow and some gray pieces, and just kind of like a little snowflake or a little diamond check in various shades of gray. And this is kind of more, if you really look at it, it looks more like a 6 by 6, like they were going to do it in a small pack and change their mind. And then you've got a grove of trees in the gray tones, like it's snowing. For those of us that live in the Midwest, or we get snow, the sky looks really gray like that when it gets ready to snow. Also for this card, I am using silver foil. You can see myself in it. We have new silver foil. It's called Silver Foil Specialty Pack. And it's on page 23 right here. It has 3 sheets, one each, of a brushed finish, a matte finish, and a mirrored foil finish. And I'm using the mirrored foil finish. So that's what we're using for the foil paper. And for the cute little tree in front, I am using a stamp set and dies. This stamp set is Whimsical Trees. I'm using this little sketchy tree here, but you can stamp ornaments or just tone on tone. We've got several different trees. I love the holly, some nice sentiments and some ornaments. But the cool thing is it also has a coordinating die set. So what I'm using today is this die to cut out the tree once I've embossed it. And I'll show you how I did that. I won't actually do that. So this has all kinds of really fun and neat trees. Oh, I also put on the inside these two, I call them tall skinny trees, which I also cut out of the silver foil. I don't know if you can see that. So you'll see it as I put it together. So that's our direction that we're going today to make this bookbinding card with a twist. And the reason it is a twist is because the orientation is a little different. So here are the items that you're going to need. I'm still working at trying to load directions onto my description on my YouTube channel. So stay tuned. That's a little bit beyond my technology, I guess. And still working on it, so stay tuned. Okay, so you're going to need just a regular half sheet, a basic gray for this card. Okay, we're going to need a little skinny piece for the inside. There's not much to work with. That is 3 by 5 1/4. The DSP is Peaceful Place, and for that you're going to need a 1/6 of a sheet. It actually will trim it down. Right now this is 4 by 6. We aren't going to need that much. We're going to have to trim it down to 4 by 5 1/4. This is the tree border in silver. And then you're going to need a little strip for the snowflakes of 7/8 by 5 1/4. And then you'll need a piece of your silver. And this is the size I used for the tree, which I already have done. Okay? So I will remove that. You can stop and start as you wish later. Okay, so for this card, we're going to get started like we ordinarily would. This time, however, I had to experiment because I wanted to make sure I had enough room to get my tree and some of the pretty paper and what have you. So I experimented and I realized these are white, so I apologize. This is what I normally use for bookbinding. This is 1 1/4 scored. And then I did a little narrow one. This is only a 1 inch. And I decided, so I had more surface here, I was going to measure from the fold, just the front, 1 inch. So to do that, I'm going to line my scoring line after I fold it in half. Make sure I have my cutting blade and score this at 1. Okay. Just the front, not the back. And then we're going to crease it really well, like yay. And then we're going to take some tear tape, or you can use Seal Plus, whatever you have that's fairly durable. And I put one again along each of the creases there. Again, this is a pressure sensitive tape. Get it going. I sometimes use my piercing tool and just lift it from the middle. Okay, then we're going to set this down, and you created your bookbinding. Now you have to figure out how to decorate the rest. So I like to start over here with my binding. And put that 7/8 inch piece there. Okay. Now we have the trees. And as you can see, it's bigger than what we need. I like to leave as much of the snowflakes up here as the top as possible, but you also want to leave some space down here for the message or your sentiment or whatever you want to do. So to trim this down, I kind of figured I wanted about a 1/2 inch down there. I probably could have left a little more. And roughly 5 1/4. Then what you do to make this neat tree. Here is the stamp, okay? So what I did, and you do this a lot during the holidays and forget to do it any other time. I stamped this in Versamark, okay? And embossed it with silver embossing powder. I put my silver embossing powder in old sandwich containers. Just dump it in and then can work with it. And then I heated it with my heat tool. And it's gorgeous. I don't know if you can see that. Embossing powder on foil. Okay. So I did that ahead of time and then cut it out with a coordinating die. So what you need to do then is take your piece, depending on how it cut, and decide how you want your tree. And actually, I think I can use the edge and just trim it here. So that piece needs to be, I think, as big as this one. Yep. So that needs to be 3 inches wide. So the reason I did this is I wanted the tree to go in between the trees on the silver paper. Since we're not, see, I'm wasting a whole inch. So that will then go here, okay? Like so, okay? Then I took the tree. As you heat emboss it, it does kind of curl a little bit. And some dimensionals. Okay. And I did decide to make it even with the bottom. And it's kind of centered. You can decide whether you want it in the center here, or the center of your trees, or whatever you want to do. Then I had to search for just the right width and length of a sentiment. And I went to our classic cloche. I actually had several different stamp sets out, but I liked this warmth, joy, happiness. If I'd left a little more room in that bottom white piece, it's the most wonderful time of the year. You can go through your things. I will be using this later in class. Classic cloche. You can build a little picture in a cloche in French. If most of you know, I taught French. Means bell. Okay, so I'm just using some Memento Black. And centering that here, holding it a little bit. Okay, there's that. Then let's work on the inside. I'm going to put my white piece on the inside, like so. Oops, sorry if I got my head in that one. And then I did, out of my silver mirror, cut out 2 of these Toscini trees from the Christmas tree dies that go with the whimsical Christmas bundle, whimsical tree bundle. And I wanted to show you a tip on how to glue these down. If I had some glue handy. You'll need your multi-purpose glue. And if you want, you can put it on your silicone sheet, but then you still have to wash it off. As I've been working at a care facility, it's not only that, it's a nice independent living place. We've used a lot of this type of thing. This works better for them than to use the whole thing of glue or glue tape runner or whatever. Use a sponge dauber to pick it up and daub it on your tree and your trunk there. I think I put my tall one first, so we'll just have to guess. And then what we do when I'm done is, instead of me having to clean up all these silicone mats, we just crumple up the wax paper and throw it away. It's fairly inexpensive, and a way that they don't get a lot of extra glue and have to do another project, or another friend next to them might need to use it for their card. There. So that's my tip for today for doing any kind of thing that has little narrow or detailed pieces. Okay? So let's finish the front. I am going to use, this has a really long name, white glittered organdy ribbon. Okay, it does. It has a little glitter to it. And I'm going to tie this in a bow, which is real fun. My fingers are they still get a little sticky. All right, let's try this again. Someday I'll have to do bow tying. It's one of the things I love to do. And there's different ways you can use ribbon. I have a little embellishment book we did years ago. I've been at this for 24 years, so I've done a lot of things. And so I had a little book that showed different ways for you to use your ribbon. And so I'll have to go back and recreate. Everything old is new again, you know. All right, so glue dots. I know I brought them down. She said, still in the box. Okay, since I'm not finding them, let's be resourceful. We'll add a little glue to our bow. Hold it there a minute. It's not going to want to stick. That's why I don't use this for this kind of thing. I put a little bit more on it, and it'll ooze all over the place. Okay. And then I felt I frequently add little sequins or rhinestones or something to the back of my cards. This one, I decided I liked the glittery of the paper, so I didn't want to mess with that. So instead, I decided to use some of our tiniest rhinestones. And you can use your Pick Me Up tool. Remember, you want to work in odd numbers, and I decided 5 was not enough, so I went on to 7. These are really inexpensive, so it's not, oops, I have one on my finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Must be from the stash. Okay. And there's your finished card. Isn't it gorgeous? You really need to see it in person. I'm going to set this one down since I have a wet bow and pick up my original. And this is a Becky original. Okay? You won't find it anywhere else. I like to do that. Okay, so this is the one with the twist. I'll show you a couple others that might look a little more familiar to you. Usually when we do, and these are all on my blog, so if you go over to beckystampinstudio.blogspot.com, you'll find the instructions and for all of these. Generally, a bookbinding card is a lengthwise piece of cardstock that we score and complete and squash kind of at the end here. So it just, and it makes a nice square here for whatever your image is. This set is now gone. It was available in Celebration, but if you have it and are still looking for some ideas, this feels like home. I just recently did these and showed you how to do the little origami square window. This is perfect for these because the origami square window is square, and so it just works out really, really nice. Here's another one I did with that, using the logos. This paper is lots of fun. I think I'm going to use one of these for my sister's birthday card. And then more recently, I've changed the orientation to to the top instead of the side. And this is done with Nature's Harvest. I love that. I did some sponging on the embossing folder. And this one, I love this. This is the Becky original too. This one I'm actually doing at Club on Saturday. It uses that whimsical tree bundle and some of this gorgeous whimsical and wonder paper. It too's on back order, but should be in on Monday. Contact me and I'll get some ordered for you before it goes on back order again. And then again, our silver mirror. And I love this. And then this little holly goes inside that matches the holly paper on the outside. So as you can see, there's many, many ways to do a bookbinding card. And I hope you'll give it a try. And when you do, if you would please send me your samples and pictures, that would be awesome. So for now, we'll see you next Friday. Bye.